Folks, Tim Forshey back again. Wanted to talk today about something that comes up fairly infrequently, but when it does, it's a very passionate subject, and that's how to deal with animal attacks with regard to self-defense and lethal force. What do you actually do? Well, believe it or not, it's actually pretty simple. If you yourself are being attacked, if your spouse, your partner, your child is being attacked, if an actual human being is in fear for their life, then do what you got to do. You can use lethal force to stop that threat, just like you could if it was a murderous guy with a machete that jumped out of a parking lot. So, typically a cougar, a bear, perhaps even maybe a pack of coyotes, you're in fear for your life, then obviously use lethal force. That's completely legal and appropriate. And if you don't, you would be dead. Where this gets a little bit hairier, though, and that's a little bit of a joke, I guess, is if the attack is against your non-human companion, that scruffy little puppy dog that you're out walking near the edge of the desert or near the edge of the forest. And this puppy dog is basically like a member of the family. This puppy dog has its own Christmas stocking on the mantle. So we're talking member of the family. A coyote rushes up, starts attacking your dog. You use your CCW firearm to stop that attack. Well, I've got some bad news. If you just use lethal force to stop the attack on your dog, then you just bought a ticket to the Gray Bar Hotel because you used lethal force to defend property alone. No matter how much we love our dogs, under Arizona law and basically the law of every other state that I'm aware of, that dog has the exact same rights as the chair that you're sitting on right now. It is property. And as we've covered on the channel before, you can never legally use lethal force to defend property alone. That includes property with a heartbeat. Sorry to tell you. So if you're excited and ignorant enough about that fact to blurt your story out to the police officers who respond to the call of shots fired, you're going to tell them that you're afraid that Fifi was in fear for her life and about to be devoured by a mean coyote. Well, you may have just, again, bought your ticket to the Gray Bar Hotel. You might as well go home and grab your toothbrush. Instead, shut the hell up and get in touch with your attorney as soon as possible. After you've had a few minutes to calm down, a few minutes to discuss the matter with your attorney, and then it still seems appropriate to do so, then you can give your story to the police officers, and your story will likely be that you were in fear for your life and or your spouse's life, and that brave Fifi leapt into the fray to help defend its masters from this evil coyote. Now, no crime has been committed. Now you're in fear for your life or your spouse's life. That's a whole different situation. That's a situation where you've used lethal force to stop a potentially fatal attack by an animal against you. And again, your brave dog jumped in to help. Can't wait to tune in to see you and Fifi being hailed as heroes on your local TV program following that. Again, don't forget, if you're legitimately in fear for an imminent loss of human life, you can use lethal force to stop that threat, whether it's from a coyote or from Al Capone. But again, your dog, your horse, your goat, your steer does not have the same legal standing as a human being. It has the same legal standing as a couch. By the way, have you noticed we've not yet spoken about cats, about domestic house cats? That's because life is too short to discuss domestic house cats. One last thing. We see this a lot in Arizona with rattlesnakes. Somebody goes out to their shed, they see a rattlesnake. They go back into their house, they get a gun, they walk back out and terminate the rattlesnake. Well, technically speaking, that ain't legal. If you're on your hike and a rattlesnake rears up and starts coiling and rattling, and you have a CCW, I think you're reasonably in fear for the imminent loss of human life, namely yours, and you can then use lethal force to terminate the rattlesnake. But if you have the presence of mind and the ability to leave the area safely, retrieve a firearm, and then reapproach the reptile, then clearly you were not in imminent fear for loss of life. As such, you just illegally use lethal force. So again, be very wary of that. Now, I'm not going to say that I don't have close friends who've shot rattlesnakes. I won't even say that I wasn't at a shooting match many, many years ago where the order came down from the match director to execute 2 rattlesnakes. I'm not going to talk about that. What I am going to say is, arguably, that is not legal. So be very wary when we're dealing with animal attacks. Make sure you're safe, and obviously the law hopefully will fall in place. All right, folks, take care. Stay safe out there. If you like what you're seeing, please tune in and subscribe. Give us ideas for future videos. Thanks much. Take care.